It's Gaz here outside Old Trafford for Full-Time Devils. We've obviously all heard the massive transfer news that's gone on over the weekend. It's that Manchester United have signed a bit of a football legend, Bastian Schweinsteiger. I'm here with Adam and Jay. I nearly said Jay and Adam there. I'm not going to get you mixed up, am I? Guys, what do you think of the transfer? Are you buzzing?
Yeah, buzzing. That's the word I'd use to describe it. I don't think anyone saw the Schweinsteiger transfer happening. I certainly didn't. I was here for the Depay unveiling, and there was no talk of it at all. And it sort of hit everyone like a bit of a surprise. And it's one of those nice surprises, you know. He's, as you said, he's a legend. He's one of the best sort of midfielders around, and to get him so quickly as well. There's been no protracted transfer dealings. It was literally Schweinsteiger's coming, Schweinsteiger's here. That was it.
It's one of them. I think he is actually now the most successful German football player ever.
Which is pretty good, really, isn't it? I mean, they've had some successful guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
They're not a rubbish national team,
no, not at all. And he's still only 30. You know, there's talk of his age and the fact that he's 30 years old and he's getting on. You know, the top players in the Premier League that are in his position, Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, that have been, were like 35, 37, and 38, I think. Yeah. And he's a measly 30.
I was thinking, I was going to bring this up. I mean, there are a lot of negatives to it, a lot of people would say. His age being one, his injuries last season. He started less games last season than he has since I think it was 2005 or something stupid like that. Do you think that could be a massive problem for us next season? Because, of course, we had massive injury problems last season.
Well, I think the thing people forget is we're in the Champions League this season. We've got more games, and if we use Schweinsteiger sparingly, then it won't be an issue. You know, I'm glad of the fact we've also got in other players as well. We haven't just got Schweinsteiger, we've got Schneiderlin in as well. So hopefully between those two and Carrick, possibly Blint as well, you've got players that can play in that position as sort of defensive midfielder. So I think it makes sense that we've got more than just him on his own. If it was just him on his own, I'd be a little bit worried. But the fact we've got him and someone else as well doesn't make me that concerned about his injury record. And plus, the thing you've got to remember is, for those, he might only play 25, 20-odd games a season, but it's the level that he's playing in those games. You're not getting 20 average games out of him. You're getting 20 games where he makes a big impact.
Definitely, man. You were saying to me before, Adam, about how he can still have an influence even while he's injured in the dressing room.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing we've been missing for the past couple of years, particularly under Moyes, you know, and even last season under Van Gaal, is other than Rooney, is a real leader. You know, I don't think there's anyone else in there that's willing to bring the young players on, you know, on the pitch as well and off it. And I think on the pitch, I think he shows leadership. He's a warrior. He's an absolute battler. I think he's the one player that had the most impact in that World Cup final against Argentina. I think he was the guy that led Germany to that title. And I think if he can do that, again, like Jay said, sparingly, I think we've got a great player on our hands. And in the dressing room, I think he offers us a leadership that goes, you know, quite hand in hand with Van Gaal. You know, he knows Van Gaal really well. He knows how he plays football. I think it also takes a little bit of pressure off Wayne Rooney, because we saw last season, I think he did a good job. I think he was the only guy that could have taken the captain's role. Yep. And I think he'll probably keep it. But I think having a Schweinsteiger in there takes that pressure off him a little bit, and bringing Schneiderlin in as well. I think the two of those can, you know, one can learn from the other, you know, and the other one can support the other guy as well.
Definitely, it's great, isn't it? Because, I mean, like, it wasn't long ago where we had Cleverley and Anderson, and just like one of the worst midfields, one of the most fraudulent Premiership midfields I've ever seen. How good is it now to see us having one of the, in my opinion, one of the best midfields in Europe?
I can't wait for the season to start. You know, I was talking about this the other day. As soon as that transfer is announced, I'm looking forward to it anyway, but as soon as that transfer is announced, it just gives you that extra bit of a buzz, as you said earlier. So, yeah, you know, in the past, you sort of, under Moyes, as Adam was mentioning, you're sitting down and you're thinking, oh, here we go, Cleverley and Jones in midfield, this is going to be a bit of a farce. But now you're going to have someone like Schweinsteiger, hopefully as well. That's going to give Carrick a bit of a break for some of the lesser teams, shall I say, so we can use him when we need him. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. I can't wait to see the likes of Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin and Depay all sort of playing a trade here next season.
You mentioned Carrick there, Jay. Would you keep Carrick in the midfield when he's fit above everyone else?
Definitely. I think, I don't like going into all stats, but I'm pretty sure that nearly all of our losses last season in the league came when Carrick wasn't playing, and that's not a coincidence. The guy's he is a bit of a Rolls-Royce type of a midfielder, influences the game, as Rio Ferdinand once famously said, he puts out fires before they get started. So yeah, if Carrick was fit, I'd play him, and I think there is a place for Carrick and Schweinsteiger in that midfield, and maybe even all three of them, including Schneiderlin.
Definitely. I'm not going to ask you both a stupid question and say, are you happy with the transfer window so far? Because I'm sure you are, but I don't think we're done yet, in my opinion. Where do we need to strengthen? Do you agree with me and a lot of people saying a centre-half and a striker, and that's us done?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the one thing we've got to remember, actually, is bringing in the options we have in the midfield. I think that changes a whole lot of things. I think we do need a striker and we do need a centre-back, but we're not as desperate as we were to bring loads in, you know, because you get goals from your midfield. We're only going to play one up top, as far as I'm concerned, so we still need to bring in somebody else alongside Rooney, or as a backup to Rooney. You'll get goals from midfield with Schweinsteiger, Schneidlin, Herrera, Mata, you know, even Depay and Di Maria as well. You get goals out of all of them, and I think a solid base in front of a back four helps us massively. It's the one thing we didn't have last season. You know, Carrick, like Jay said, he might put fires out before they started, but he still can't take on, you know, a bonfire. If a team come to Old Trafford and play the way that they did last season, in some instances, we need battlers in the middle. And Carrick isn't a battler. He's a Rolls-Royce type of player, exactly as Jay said. He's the type of guy that dictates play. He's not the one that goes out fighting them minutes.
Stuck in. He's not like a Roy Keane, is he?
And I think we've got that with Herrera, but you get that now with Schweinsteiger and Schneidlin. So bring in a centre-back alongside those that we've got, and I think we're getting close to a very, very good side.
What do you think, Jay? Any names in particular?
Well, there was talk of Hummels, wasn't that? That was the name that everyone wanted. There's talk of, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Otamendi, is it? Yeah, I think he's the one that everyone suggests or everyone thinks is going to make the move over here. I'd like to see that because I think we desperately do need another centre back. I think Phil Jones isn't a first choice. I know you've got Rojo and you've got Smalling, who had a good season last season, but we still definitely need that centre back. And as Adam rightly said, you know, RVP's gone. Enriquez obviously is gone. I don't think he would have got a chance anyway. I think there's talk of Wilson going out on loan, so we do need someone else who can play up front. Rooney's going to be like probably our only out-and-out striker, and if anything happens to him, then we're going to be snookered. So yeah, I'd like to see a striker coming in and a centre-back, definitely.
I'll make a bold prediction. I think we're still going to bring Ramos in. I think De Gea will go out, Ramos will come in, and I think we're going to bring Harry Kane in as well on deadline day for an absolutely obscene amount of money. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you get him in the comments below as well. Tell us what you think of the transfer window so far, who else we need to sign, what you think of Bastian, Schweinsteiger, Schneidlin, all the rest of the millions and millions of names we seem to have been linked to and actually signed now. And I've been Gaz, outside Old Trafford, Full Time Devils, and we're all out of here.